I've always wanted to go to Morocco, Tunisia, that area. And back in 2007 when I left India, I said, I'm never coming back here unless I'm riding a Royal Enfield. And so when Tashi said, hey, so do you want to come out and do this route scouting thing with me? I have a pair of Royal Enfields. I thought, well, I did say I wasn't going to return to India unless it was on a Royal Enfield. So this kind of just spoke to me as something that I couldn't miss, and Bhutan especially. So I'm really, really glad that he reached out to me and I got the opportunity to do it, because it was just an amazing trip. Challenging, my skill level, my sanity, everything challenged, and I'm pretty happy with the outcome. I think I've definitely become a better rider, and definitely have an appreciation for Indian riders, because I don't know how you guys can stay as focused and dialed in with this traffic. Like that. I could probably, comfortably, I would probably withstand about 15 to 20 minutes of that and not really want to spend an entire day in traffic like that.
That's
because, yeah, I mean, we talk about it on the podcast with lane splitting in California, and for us, lane splitting is, you have a car that's centered in the middle of the two white lines, and then the motorcyclist can either opt to stay behind the car or to split through. So that's like taxing for us, right? To determine, hey, am I going to fit? Am I wide enough? And then in India, it's move the cars over so that they're over the white line, have some other taxi drivers, some random people walking through, and then 15 bikes.
You left some room for us.
And then also people on your six that you can't see all come together back there, and then constantly staying upright. Oh, and then there's potholes, and then, you know, so it's kind of like the rules are there are no rules. And the way that they teach you in the US is to always scan ahead, so that you're supposed to know what's coming and act appropriately. So if you know the road surface has gone from asphalt to dirt, you're going to be slowing down. Well, the thing with riding in India is that 10 to 15, 20, however many feet in front of you you're supposed to be scanning is occupied by other cars. And if you slow down and you let those other cars get a distance ahead of you, 10 other cars will come in their space. So really, this is the area you can comfortably see exposed in front of you as you're riding. I would say even over some of the coastal roads in Brazil, that road section that I was telling you about in Nepal was just the best. It was completely unexpected. And there was just the fact that there was no one else around, and it was just the two of us, and it was just this amazing, beautiful, gorgeous scenery that I hope I captured as well on my Canon that I did on the iPhone. That was just, that'll resonate with me for a long time. As far as India, I think, well, the roads, definitely not my favorite part. The lack of signage, probably not my favorite part. But the level of hospitality that I have had in this country is just amazing. And when I was here in 2007, and I spent much longer time in India, 4 weeks in Kerala, and then 2 weeks kind of roaming around the northern parts. I think I was in a different place in my life, and I totally think that this is something that affects like how people react to you, how you travel. When you're not kind of, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but basically wherever I was at that point in time, I don't really think that I put out that kind of very warm, welcoming, she's smiling at random people. That's how you disarm people in this country. Guys will stare at me and I'll be thinking, well, you know, I am kind of a unicorn in India. I'm on a Triumph. No one's seen a Triumph. I'm wearing gear from head to toe. no one wears gear really from head to toe, and foreign gear at that. And I have this crazy helmet, and I'm white, not, don't look like anyone else, and I'm female. And so when I see people stare at me, and that happened before when I was backpacking, before I think I responded with the kind of just, why is everybody staring at me? Ugh. And then now it's more of a, yeah, I'm a unicorn. Hi, waving, and the guys would be like looking at me in the car, and then be like,
all right, yeah. It's always,
we don't really know what to do to this girl.
Yeah,
She's like smiling, and yeah, exactly. So I think I threw people off with doing that, and it's totally attitude. And so how my attitude has kind of changed the trip as a part to 2007 to now, I think is most of it. But the hospitality, I mean, I've stayed with a family in Delhi, and they were amazing and so sweet. And the different places that I've stayed within India when I was going through Rajasthan, everyone's so concerned. It's 4 o'clock and I was only going 200 kilometers and I haven't reached the hotel yet. Where is she? Where is she? We're so worried about you. The woman was so, so lovely to me. The minute I came through the door, I'd already been lost. The iPhone and my cell card, I think it's Aircel. But I got it in northern India. I don't know if that impacts anything, but between the iPhone, Google Maps, and the card, I could not find myself on a map. And I already been riding another 3 to 4 hours, probably longer than I should have, because the maps kept misplacing me. And I'm like, I just want to get to the hotel. And so finally at 5 o'clock, I found myself outside of this town where I'd asked everybody, have you heard of this hotel? Have you heard of this town? Anybody? Does anybody know where I am? And it was very rural. So finally I call her and I flag down someone and he's like, oh, no, I don't speak English. I'm like, no, Hindi. And I give him the phone and she basically talks to him, where are you? Oh, I'm here. So they have a conversation and then they hand the phone back to me and she's like, okay, so if you keep going down the road a little bit, you're so close. Yeah. I was only 5 kilometers away. Right. So I basically kept going down the road, and her husband actually drove out to escort me through the town because the fort, narrow walls, streets, winding, curvy, just nothing that you really want at the end of a day when you're just tired, dehydrated, and you just want to take a shower and sleep. And she was such a sweetheart. Probably what I would call back in the U.S. the equivalent of a Jewish mother. Because the minute I walked through, here, have water. Yeah. Go get her a lassi. And, so she's just like filling me full of food and hydrating me and relax. No, sit down, relax. And they let me go upstairs and pretty much like I was the only person at this hotel. So it was also very sweet because I had the whole run of the place. But it was this gorgeous fort that's been around for over 300 years. And so they basically took care of me, fed me the next morning, fed me again, told me all about their amazing choices and how they decided to stay in the fort, which has been passed through like 16 generations of the family. Wow. And I happen to mention, if there's time, I would love to ride a camel. I know it's a totally random, it's not 2 wheels, but for whatever reason, I was like, yeah, that's kind of like a strange bucket list thing. I've always wanted to ride a camel. Don't ask me why. And I tell her, no, I don't need to ride in the fancy, thing. I just want to ride on the camel. Really? Okay, I'm going to come out and take pictures of that. I'm like, okay, when she starts saying that she's going to take pictures of, what am I doing that is so strange? I mean, it's just these, I won't get into crazy detail, but it's just these experiences that I'm just never going to forget because everyone just kind of adopted me. And I didn't have that same experience in South America, and I know a lot of people who have been through there that have had those kinds of experiences there. And I think it's all about just the attitude that you convey that determines how people respond to you. And I've just been very fortunate in that I've kind of been put on a different path since 7 years ago when I was in South America, that I've kind of been able to, I don't know, exude a different sort of personality that people can be attracted to and respond well to. So. And I survived. Thank you. It's been an honor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And then you see a coil of highway wrap around and drop down. I bought some gear and flew down to Ecuador and bought a motorcycle in Ecuador.